Hey, what's up? Richard Bryce here. Today, I want to help you figure out why you're struggling with your timing. Timing is one of the most important parts of tennis. It's also one of the hardest because every single shot you ever hit is different. Now, timing is a combination of things. It is you being able to predict where the ball's going. It's you being able to predict how far the ball is away so you can start your swing at the right time and so that you can adjust the swing path and swing speed that you're using relative to the oncoming ball. So there is a lot of stuff going on when it comes to timing the ball well. This is why so many people really struggle with it, so many people hit the ball late, and it really prevents them from developing the sort of game style they want. Now, a lot of this is going to come down to how your visual system is functioning. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take you through one of my favorite assessments for tennis players to help you figure out if your visual system and if a certain part of the brain is really one of the things that's holding you back. Because if it is, there are some really cool and simple things that you can do to change it, but I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. Okay, for this assessment, you're going to need a pen or a pencil because we're going to be doing something called a pencil push-up. What that means is we're going to hold the pen out at arm's length. I'm going to have my eyes focused on the tip of the pen or the pencil, and then my job is to bring that target, so the tip of the pen, all the way in to the bridge of my nose. So I'm going to try and get the silver part right in between my eyes. I'm going to hold it there for a couple of seconds, and then I'm going to slowly take it back out. Now that's what the assessment looks like, but let me quickly talk you through it a little bit. You've got to go slowly when you do it because what we're trying to assess for is if your eyes can look inwards together. This is a really important skill called convergence, but you want to think about it as this is a really important skill for your ability to track the ball as it moves towards you. Now, firstly, I understand that the ball doesn't come this close when you're playing tennis, but that's not the point. The point is that this is a basic skill that everybody's visual system should be able to do. Every human on the planet should have the ability to bring that target in all the way, hold it there, still being able to see that target, and then slowly take it away. If you can't do that, then it means there's a problem, and it is without doubt going to be seriously affecting your ability to time the tennis ball. Now, what we're looking for when you do this, as you bring it in, if you can do what I've just done, great, but what you might find is that as the pen gets closer to your nose, the tip starts to double. And the reason that that happens is because one of your eyes isn't able to look inwards. So now, instead of both eyes looking at the same target, one eye is going to be pointing at the target, one eye is going to be pointing a little bit to the side, and it's going to look like the tip of the pen is doubling. So your job is to kind of do this nice and slowly and see if that starts to happen. Once you notice it happening, if it is happening, you're going to measure the distance and see how far away it is. Like, any distance away is a problem, but obviously the further away, the bigger the problem. One word of caution when you do this, you've got to make sure that you don't go too quickly. It is very common to do this with players, and they do it really quickly. One eye is looking at the pen, the other eye is looking off in the other direction, and they go, yep, I was great. I did that test, I passed it, I was fine, and really one eye's pointing in completely the wrong direction. So I want you to do it just as I did, nice and slowly. I'm focusing on the tip of the pen, trying to bring it in. I'm going to hold it there for about 3 seconds. Now in this position, it will be blurry. Everything else behind will be doubled because I've got two eyes, and then I can take it away, and it still hasn't split in two. That's the test. It's a really good idea to record yourself doing this so you can see what happens, because in addition to people going quickly and not noticing, another thing that happens is people cheat inadvertently. So not intentionally, just because their brain's trying to compensate. Just like if you've got a bad leg, you compensate when you're walking. It's a similar thing for this. So as they're bringing it in, instead of taking it to the bridge of the nose, they start to bring it down a little bit to cheat, or they start to bring it up a little bit to cheat, or they just bring it straight in front of the eye. That's a problem to cheat. Another thing that can happen is they start to kind of force their head forwards to cheat the test and just to try and make it work. So you want to record yourself and make sure that you're not doing any of those things. You should be able to bring it all the way in, nice and comfortably, hold it there without any crazy head movements, and take it away. And the eyes should be nice and even when they do it. For some people, you'll be able to go all the way in, but one of the eyes will be really struggling. So that's going to be an indication that this is really affecting your timing as well. So that's what the assessment looks like. You want to try that, you want to record yourself, and now we need to talk about what it means. Okay, so like I said at the start of that assessment, there's one really obvious problem with this. If you can't perform this skill, it is an indication of a problem with your visual system. This is basically the skill that allows you to track the ball as it moves towards you. It is an essential skill for your ability to judge distance and depth. So unless you can do that assessment perfectly, it is an issue that is going to be affecting your timing. It's not one of these things like, oh yeah, no, it doesn't matter. No, this matters. These are the reasons why players aren't able to time the ball and why they struggle with so many of the different things that happen on court. But this one goes a little bit deeper than this. The part of the brain that controls that eye movement doesn't just control most of your eye movements. It's also really important for spatial awareness in general. So your ability to see the ball quickly, to judge where the ball is going quickly, so to start to set up in position, forget about timing or anything like that, just your ability to react fast to the ball, judge where it's going so you can start to move into position. It's going to be really important for that. It is obviously going to be really important for your ability to judge when you're going to start your swing and for your ability to watch the ball onto your string. So it's going to be really important for all that, but it's got a function within movement as well. So timing, as I said at the start, is going to be part visual stuff, starting your swing at the right time, but it's also part adjusting the speed of your movements and the coordination that goes with it. So this area of the brain doesn't just deal with vision, it's part of the pathway that's responsible for creating rhythm and timing of movements. So think about that. If you can't do this skill well, not only is it going to affect your visual ability, so it's literally going to make it difficult to read where the ball's going and to make it very challenging to start your swing on time, it's going to affect the timing and the rhythm of your shots. So this one assessment tells us so much information, which is why it's one of my favorite assessments to do with tennis players and one of the first things I do because it helps us figure out the starting point. Now, if you did find this problem, then one of the things you can start to do is practice it and work on it. And sometimes that is enough to improve things. But for a lot of people, it doesn't. For a lot of people, you need to dig a little bit deeper, but that's something that you can do. And when you start to dig a little bit deeper, you can make real big improvements in people's ability to judge where the ball's going, in timing, in the coordination and the rhythm and timing of their shots. And that's really one of the big things that I help tennis players with. Now, I've made a masterclass that goes into a lot more detail about this stuff. It's basically going to teach you how to address visual deficits and coordination deficits, really your hand-to-eye coordination and your focus issues. So all the things that hold tennis players back on court. There's a link down in the description. You definitely want to check that out if you're struggling to improve, because it's going to help you to understand why you're struggling to improve and then explain what you need to do to address it. Okay, I hope you found this video helpful. Make sure you do that assessment, see how you get on. If you've got any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. And obviously, if you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I help players with their tactics and with their technique and with the footwork and stuff like that. But one of the big things that I help players with is to answer the question why. Why is it that I can't do the thing that I can't do? Because often that's what you really need to address in order to improve your game. Okay, I'll see you next time.